Donald Trump has taken to his own platform, Truth, and the word disloyal has been used in describing Ron DeSantis. Is it fair to say that DeSantis lied to Trump?
Well, I mean, I guess essentially he did. If my father-in-law had a conversation with him and he said he was not going to run for president and now he is, yes, I guess that's a lie. I guess that's disloyal.
Now, I know there are some issues with geography when it comes to presidents and vice presidents, but any chance your father-in-law and DeSantis would ever team up?
I mean, I would never say never to anything. One of the two of them would have to kind of go out of the state, though, and find another home state for that to ultimately work out. But so there are some logistical parts of it that aren't perfect.
Now, if by chance, and I know the polls are not looking this way right now, but if Ron DeSantis turns it around and becomes the Republican candidate, would Donald Trump support him in a presidential race against Joe Biden?
Well, I think my father-in-law wants to see this country back on track. I mean, it is really terrible to see how quickly things have changed in a very negative way in America since Joe Biden became president and by and large, the Democrat Party took control of our government. It really has been very tough for people. It feels like a very dangerous time with a fully open southern border, with our standing on the world stage weakened right now, 100,000 Americans a year being killed by fentanyl that's pouring through that southern border. And so people want somebody back who is going to turn this country around. I believe ultimately it will be my father-in-law, but I think quite frankly, any Republican candidate would be better than what we have right now. And I think my father-in-law would agree with that as well.
Looking at some comments that DeSantis has made about Australia recently, he was very critical of us during the pandemic, and some of that justified, most people would think. Who do you think would be a better president when it comes to the relationship with Australia? And yes, I obviously know you're biased.
Well, look, I think that, Australia is in a good spot when America is stronger. And I think that that goes for the rest of the free world at this point. And there's no doubt that we have a track record with Donald Trump that proves that proves he can get that done. There were no new wars that were started under Donald Trump's leadership. We had a very strong standing on the world stage. ISIS was eliminated. You had peace talks with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. And so there is a proven track record there with Donald Trump. So I obviously think that would be the way to go. The interesting thing with Ron DeSantis is he's the governor of Florida, but it is a very different animal whenever you become president and you have to deal with not just a state, the entire country, but also the entire world. Donald Trump has done that once, and I think a lot of people understand he'll be able to do it again.
So let's say it goes the way that you think it will go and DeSantis loses this. How damaging do you think that is for his career? Do you think it's a bit of an own goal for him to go this early as opposed to, say, as you suggested, 2028?
I think so. I mean, I think he's always had aspirations to run for president. And I think it'll be probably very upsetting when it doesn't work out for him, because like I said, a lot of people look at Ron DeSantis and they say, well, we would really consider voting for him in 2028, but he decided to do it now. He will have vacated his seat as the governor of this state. He will have lost a bid for president. And I don't know ultimately where that will put him with the people of the state of Florida. But, for his goals of becoming president one day, obviously time will tell. But I think, it could be a decision that he might live to regret one day. We'll see.